All right, so with that in mind, I do want to list the four labels that I gave you earlier from the big idea. I am going to use behavioral or mood disorders that you would find in the DSM-4. The first one in this upper right-hand quadrant is impulsive. Now, this is a non-exhaustive list of mood or behavioral disorders that would fit within the impulsive quadrant. If you want to get a longer list, you can just Google it and it will give you a list of impulsive type disorders. But I've listed four here. Many of these you will be familiar with, I'm sure. ADD or ADHD, eating disorders, obsessive compulsive, and intermittent explosive. These would be just four behavioral or mood disorders that would fit in the impulsive quadrant of this graphic here. Now, I will do more explaining of all of these as we move along. And then in the lower right quadrant, I have anxiousness or being anxious. This is another group of disorders, non-exhaustive list. Here are four: psychotic disorders, substance-induced anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, which I'm sure all of you have heard of, panic and acute stress. And again, there are more that you could research that would fit in this bottom right quadrant. And then moving to the bottom left quadrant, we have depressive. And here is a short list of depressive behavioral or mood disorders. Mood disorder, mental illness, bipolar, and major depressive. And then in the upper left, I have disruptive and a short list of those. Conduct disorder, oppositional defiant, pyromania, setting fires, kleptomania, stealing things, and this is a short list of disruptive disorders. Now, I'm going to take these four categories: impulsive, anxious, depressive, and disruptive. All of these things are legit. Perhaps you know somebody, or maybe you struggle with one of these disorders that's in one of these four quadrants. I would not negate that. I would not argue the reality of that. These are legitimate struggles. But my point in this webinar is to walk through how to change our presuppositional filter so that we can look at these things biblically, which will lead us beyond just describing what the issue is, which again, that's all the DSM is. It is a descriptive textbook that describes problems. We can move beyond describing what's wrong with us. We can relabel it and we can bring biblical solutions. And so we have impulsive, anxious, depressive, and disruptive.